What are all the tools and technologies you are using in your SOC environment? So my case, I'll take my example. I'm using the Splunk of and my previous experience, I have experience with Curator, Elasticsearch, Azure Sentinel, and ArcSight, and presently I'm working in Splunk. The EDR tool, I'm currently working in CrowdStrike, and before that I have exposure on VMware and the Silence Trend Micro. Then email security, I am using a Proofpoint, Mimecast, and earlier before this organization I have exposure or I have experience with Abnormal and the Spam Titan as well. And the SOAR I'm currently working in the Tines, and before I had an exposure on the Cortex or Splunk Phantom and the Swimlane. So you can customize, what is your experience? So based on that, for example, you may have experience with a logarithm, but here it is not mentioned. You can talk about that, right? So your response to the interviewer should be, so whatever the tools and technologies you're using. So SIM tools, EDR tools, the email security, SOAR platform, and the ticketing tools, what are the different ticketing tools you are using. So that is also I'm going to discuss. So you need to mention all these things.
Coming to the vulnerability management tools used in SOC environment, most of the security operations have, most of the organizations have these vulnerability scanners. One is the Nessus, and the other one is the Qualys and the Rapid7. So they are the market leaders in the vulnerability management. And the cloud services, coming to the cloud services, so many of the organizations, they were migrating their services. They're moving to the cloud. So majority of the organizations has been, some of the resources they've been hosted on or they've been moving to the cloud services. One is the Microsoft Azure, and the other one is AWS and the Google Cloud. So as of now, the AWS occupies majority of the organization has been using AWS, followed by the Microsoft Azure, and then the next is Google Cloud. So these are the major cloud service providers. Many of the organization has been using these cloud services. And the other one is the incident management tools or the ticketing tools. So majority of the organizations having is the ServiceNow is the one. Majority of the organization have, then followed by the Jira. This is also another one of the leader in the incident management or the ticketing tools. Many of the organization has been using this Jira ticketing tool, and then PMC Remedy, PagerDuty. So these are the different ticketing tools has been used. So yeah, apart from that, so we have the other tools and technologies has been used. It depends on the organization to organization. So some of the organizations may have some other the technologies they've been using, but the typical SOC environment, so looking at the most of 90% of the SOC have this sort of tools. The security operation center analysts, the SOC analysts have working on they primarily focusing on they will primarily work on these particular tools on a daily basis. So far we covered the SIM and the SOAR, EDR, email security, endpoint security, vulnerability management, the cloud services, and the ticketing tools like the ServiceNow, Jira, PMC Remedy, etc. So majority of the organizations have these tools and technologies.